It was past midnight. The city was asleep, but Adil's phone rang. Unknown number. Hesitant, he answered. A woman's voice is shaky, whispering, "Help me. He's coming." Adil froze. Who? Who's coming? Click. The call ended. His heart pounded. He stared at the screen. Should he call back? Report it? Then, another call. Same number. He answered instantly. Breathing. Heavy. Desperate. Then a whisper. He sees me. Who? Where are you? Adil shouted. Silence. He tried calling back, but it went straight to voicemail. Panic clawed at him. He imagined her, alone, terrified, a shadow looming. He had to do something. He grabbed his keys, his mind racing. He knew he shouldn't, that it was dangerous, but he couldn't ignore that desperate plea. He drove, adrenaline pumping, following a hunch, the woman's voice echoing in his head. The address wasn't given, but he felt drawn to an old abandoned warehouse on the edge of town, a place whispered about in hushed tones. The air was thick with the smell of decay and fear. He crept inside, his flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. The shadows danced, playing tricks on his eyes. Then he saw her. Huddled in a corner, eyes wide with terror, was a young woman, her face pale and streaked with tears. A man, tall and imposing, emerged from the deeper shadows, his face obscured by darkness. "Leave her alone," Adil yelled, his voice trembling slightly but firm. The man turned, his eyes gleaming menacingly. A tense standoff ensued. Adil, despite his fear, stood his ground. He wasn't sure what he could do, but he wouldn't let this man hurt her. Suddenly, sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder. The man hesitated, then disappeared into the darkness. Police officers rushed in, their flashlights illuminating the scene. Adil, still shaken, led them to the woman, who was trembling but safe. He gave his statement, his hands still shaking, but a sense of relief washed over him. As he drove home, the city lights blurred, the night's events still raw in his mind. He had answered a desperate call, a last call for help, and in doing so, he'd face his own fear and emerge stronger. He knew he'd never forget the chilling whisper, the heavy breathing, the fear in the woman's eyes, or the sound of the sirens that ultimately saved the day. It was a night he would never forget, a night that changed him,